Okay, so let's say you're prepping for a medical laboratory manager interview, and you really want to ace it.
Right.
That's where this deep dive comes in.
Absolutely.
We're using RoleCatcher's resources.
Okay.
Think career guides, their interview question database, even some AI tools
Awesome.
to really help you stand out.
Yeah. It's exciting because this role, it blends scientific expertise with leadership.
Oh, totally.
And ultimately, it's all about patient care,
Yeah.
making a real difference.
For sure. So before we get into specific questions, can you just paint a picture of what a medical laboratory manager actually does on a day-to-day basis?
So think of it as a multifaceted role.
Okay.
You're not just overseeing the lab work.
Yeah.
You're leading a team.
Right.
You're managing schedules, budgets,
Yeah.
making sure that everything's running smoothly.
Right.
But it goes deeper than that.
Okay.
You're a champion for safety and accuracy, too.
Yeah.
Making sure that the lab is operating in line with all those really important regulations.
So many hats to wear. Now, RoleCatcher's career guide, it actually maps out that progression
Yeah.
from entry-level technician to full-fledged manager
Yeah.
with evolving responsibilities at each stage.
Right.
They even have real example profiles.
Uh-huh.
It's like you can peek into your potential future.
Exactly. And certifications like, medical laboratory scientist or clinical laboratory scientist, those can really help your career trajectory.
Oh, for sure.
And this is gold when you get asked, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Oh, yeah, that's a classic.
You can actually draw your answer from this content.
I love that, connecting the dots.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's roll up our sleeves
Yeah.
and dive into some of those interview questions.
Let's do it.
RoleCatcher's guide highlights 10 common ones.
Okay.
Are you ready to tackle a few?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, first one. What inspired you to pursue a career in medical laboratory management?
Okay.
Seems straightforward,
Yeah.
but what are they really looking for there?
So they want to see passion for the field, absolutely. But it's more nuanced than that. They want to know what draws you to the management aspect of it.
Right.
Why lead a lab? Why this path and not, say, pure research or a different healthcare role?
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's about showing that you're not just a scientist,
Yeah.
but a leader who wants to have an impact.
And I could see them following that up with something like,
Yeah.
what's the biggest misconception people have about your field?
Ah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a chance to debunk those stereotypes, show that you understand the complexities of the role.
Yeah.
You might talk about how it's not just about analyzing samples.
Right.
It's about leadership, problem solving,
Yep.
staying ahead of technological advancements,
Right.
and ultimately ensuring those accurate results that directly impact patient care.
Absolutely. Okay, next question. How do you stay up to date with advances in laboratory science and technology?
Okay.
Healthcare landscapes constantly evolve.
Right.
How can you showcase that you're on top of your game?
Yeah. Definitely don't just say, I read a lot.
Okay.
Be specific.
Okay.
Mention influential journals like clinical chemistry, clinical microbiology reviews, professional organizations like the ASCP, CLMA,
Right.
attending conferences like the AACC annual scientific meeting.
Yeah.
By dropping those names, you're showing that you're plugged into the right sources
Right.
and you're actively seeking out that knowledge.
It's about quality over quantity.
Yes.
And I bet they might follow up with, tell me about a recent technological development that excited you and how you see it impacting your work.
Right. You got to have an example ready.
Yeah.
Maybe you're fascinated by, advancements in molecular diagnostics
Right.
or the growing role of AI in lab settings, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Connect it back to how it could improve, efficiency, accuracy, patient care within the lab you're hoping to lead.
Okay, now let's get into a question that's really focused on the details. How do you ensure that laboratory procedures are compliant with relevant regulations and standards?
Okay.
I imagine they're looking for more than just a general understanding here.
Absolutely. You need to know your stuff.
Okay.
Mention specific regulatory bodies,
Yeah.
ASCP, Board of Certification,
Right.
TOLA,
Yeah.
CLIA.
Uh-huh.
Don't just name drop them, though.
Okay.
Explain how you've implemented quality control measures,
Right.
internal audits,
Yeah.
ongoing training
Mm-hmm.
to ensure compliance in your past roles.
Yeah.
It's about proving that you not only understand the regulations,
Right.
but that you live and breathe them.
Okay, and I'm seeing a pattern here. It's all about showcasing your expertise
Exactly.
with concrete examples.
Yes.
So a likely follow-up to that question could be, describe a time you had to address a non-compliance issue. What was your approach?
That's a chance to shine.
Okay.
Be ready with a real anecdote
Okay.
that demonstrates those problem-solving skills.
Explain how you identified the issue,
Yeah,
the steps you took to correct it,
right.
and the outcome.
Yeah.
Always emphasizing patient safety and, regulatory adherence as top priorities.
Okay, time for a question that shifts gears a bit. How do you manage conflicts and difficult situations in a laboratory setting?
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about science, is it?
Right. A lab is a workplace with all those human dynamics that come with it.
Right. You hit the nail on the head. This question's all about your interpersonal skills and your ability to lead a team effectively.
Exactly.
So have a real story ready
Right.
that shows your conflict resolution approach.
Absolutely.
Maybe you mediated a disagreement between team members,
Okay.
addressed a performance issue, or had a really challenging situation with a patient or physician.
Yeah.
Whatever the story, highlight your ability to listen actively, find common ground,
Right.
and maintain that professional and respectful environment,
Yep.
always with the focus on patient care.
And that could lead to a follow-up, like, what's your approach to giving constructive feedback to a team member?
Right. It's all about showing that you can handle those tough conversations with grace and empathy.
Yeah.
Explain how you focus on giving feedback that is specific,
Okay.
actionable, and ultimately helps that individual, grow and improve.
We've covered 4 key questions so far.
Yeah.
I'm already feeling more prepared for that interview.
Awesome.
But before we move on to the next batch, let's talk about how RoleCatcher's AI can really up your game.
Okay.
You've got the knowledge,
Right.
but how do you make sure your answers are tailored to each specific job that you're applying for?
Right. That's where the AI comes in.
Tell me more about how this AI magic works.
So RoleCatcher's AI analyzes job descriptions,
Okay.
identifies those crucial skills that they're looking for. Then it helps you to fine-tune your CV or resume for maximum impact,
Okay.
highlighting, your most relevant experiences and qualifications.
It's like having a personal interview coach in your pocket.
It really is.
Yeah.
You can even practice your answers, record yourself, and get AI-powered feedback on your delivery and content.
That's so cool.
It's amazing. You can see how your responses align with, the specific requirements of the job.
So you're not just going in blind. You're going in prepared and confident.
Exactly. And that's what sets you apart.
I love it.
Remember, the more you practice, the more comfortable and confident you'll become.
Now I'm itching to dive back into those interview questions.
Okay.
Are you ready to tackle a few more?
Bring them on. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
All right. So let's delve into another crucial aspect of medical laboratory management,
Okay.
leading and developing your team.
Yeah.
A common interview question you might encounter is, how do you ensure that laboratory staff are trained and competent in their roles?
That's a big one.
Yeah.
It's not just about technical skills, right?
Right.
You're also responsible for fostering a culture of learning and growth.
Exactly. Interviewers want to see that you're a mentor, not just a manager.
Right.
Think about, your approach to onboarding new hires, providing ongoing training, encouraging continuing education.
Right.
Do you have a system in place
Okay.
to assess competency and identify areas for improvement?
I bet a common follow-up to that would be, what's your strategy for identifying and addressing skills gaps within your team?
Yeah, that's where you can demonstrate your proactive approach to team development. You might talk about how you regularly evaluate individual skills, provide targeted training opportunities, or even, create mentorship programs within the lab.
Yeah.
It's about showing that you're invested in your team's growth
Right.
and that you have a plan to ensure that everyone's performing at their best.
Okay, switching gears a bit, let's talk about organization and time management.
Okay.
Labs are fast-paced environments.
Yes, they are.
So interviewers definitely want to know how you handle the pressure. A question like, how do you prioritize tasks and manage competing demands in a laboratory setting is almost guaranteed to come up.
It's a classic.
Wow.
This is your chance to really showcase those organizational skills and your ability to think on your feet. Do you use a specific methodology for prioritization, like the Eisenhower matrix or the Kanban system?
Okay.
Do you rely on project management software to keep things organized?
Right.
Whatever your approach, explain it clearly and provide concrete examples of how you've effectively managed those competing demands in the past.
I can see them digging deeper with a follow-up like, tell me about a time you had to juggle multiple urgent requests. How did you approach the situation?
Right. Again, a real anecdote is key here.
Okay.
Describe the situation, the challenges you faced, the steps you took to assess those priorities, delegate effectively.
Yeah.
And ensure that everything was handled, in a timely and efficient manner.
Right.
Emphasize your ability to remain calm and focused under pressure.
All right, let's tackle a question that gets to the heart of leadership. How do you manage and motivate a diverse team of laboratory staff?
Okay.
Labs are melting pots of personalities and backgrounds.
They are.
So creating a cohesive and productive team is essential.
Absolutely. This question's all about showcasing your emotional intelligence and your ability to foster an inclusive and supportive work environment. Highlight your communication skills, your ability to understand and appreciate different perspectives, and your commitment to treating everyone with respect.
Yeah.
You might mention strategies, for building team cohesion, like regular team meetings, open communication channels, or even social events outside of work.
It's about creating that culture where everyone feels valued and respected.
Exactly.
Which ultimately leads to a more productive and engaged team.
For sure.
I could see them following up with, describe a time you had to address a conflict between team members. How did you resolve it?
That's a great opportunity to demonstrate, your conflict resolution skills.
Okay.
Share a real example of how you mediated a conflict, focusing on your ability to listen actively to both sides.
Right.
Identify common ground.
Yeah.
And find a solution that addressed the needs of everyone involved.
Okay.
Remember, it's not about taking sides. It's about finding a resolution that benefits the team as a whole.
Now let's shift to a more data-driven aspect of lab management.
Okay.
The question, how do you measure and assess laboratory performance and quality, is all about showing that you're not just about getting things done, but getting them done well.
Exactly. This is where you showcase your analytical skills and your commitment to continuous improvement. Talk about specific metrics you've used to track lab performance, such as turnaround times, accuracy rates, patient satisfaction scores, compliance rates. Don't just list the metrics, though. Explain how you use data analysis to identify trends, areas for improvement, and opportunities to enhance efficiency and quality.
I bet they might follow up with, what steps would you take to improve a metric that's not meeting expectations?
Yeah, that's a chance to showcase your problem-solving skills.
Okay.
Explain your approach to data analysis, root cause identification, and the implementation of corrective actions. You might talk about, process improvement methodologies like Lean or Six Sigma, or how you've successfully implemented change management initiatives in the past.
All right, on to a question that dives into the nitty-gritty of lab management.
Okay.
How do you develop and implement laboratory policies and procedures? This one's all about demonstrating that you understand best practices and can translate them into actionable guidelines for your team.
Interviewers want to see that you can not only follow procedures, but create and implement them effectively. Explain your process for developing policies, how you ensure they align with, regulatory requirements, industry best practices, and how you communicate them clearly to your team.
I imagine a common follow-up would be, tell me about a time you had to introduce a new policy or procedure. How did you ensure it was successfully adopted by the team?
This is your chance to really highlight your communication and change management skills. Describe the situation, the challenges you faced, and the steps you took to introduce that new policy or procedure effectively. Did you provide comprehensive training? Did you create clear documentation? Did you establish a feedback mechanism to address any concerns or challenges? By sharing a specific example, you really demonstrate your ability to drive change and ensure that smooth implementation.
Okay, we're on the last question from RoleCatcher's Guide.
All right.
How do you ensure that laboratory equipment is properly maintained and serviced? This one might seem less glamorous than some of the others. But it's crucial for ensuring the lab operates safely and efficiently.
You're absolutely right. It's all about attention to detail. And that proactive maintenance. Explain your system for tracking equipment maintenance schedules, ensuring calibration, and addressing any issues that arise. Do you have a relationship with a reliable service provider? Do you keep spare parts on hand for common problems?
Makes sense.
Demonstrate that you understand the importance of preventative maintenance. And that you have a system in place to minimize downtime. And ensure that equipment is always operating at peak performance.
I wouldn't be surprised if they followed up with, describe a time you had to troubleshoot a problem with a piece of equipment. What steps did you take to resolve the issue?
Yeah, that's where you can showcase your technical knowledge and problem-solving skills. Share a story about a time you had to, diagnose and fix a problem with the piece of equipment. Walk them through, your thought process. Yeah. The steps you took to identify the issue and how you ultimately resolved it.
Right.
This is a chance to demonstrate your resourcefulness, your ability to think critically under pressure, and your commitment to finding solutions that keep the lab running smoothly.
Wow. We just went through 10 challenging interview questions.
We did.
I feel like we've barely scratched the surface.
I know, right?
Of what it takes to be a successful medical laboratory manager.
There's so much depth to this role.
Yeah.
And these questions highlight, those diverse skills and knowledge required to excel.
Absolutely.
But remember, preparation is key.
Yeah.
By understanding what interviewers are looking for and practicing your responses.
Right.
You can go into that interview feeling confident and prepared to showcase your best self.
And don't forget about RoleCatcher's AI tools.
Yes.
They can be a game changer.
Absolutely.
When it comes to tailoring your answers and your CV to the specific job, your target.
It's like having a personal coach, guiding you through the process.
I love that.
Use those resources to your advantage.
For sure.
And remember, practice makes perfect.
Yep.
The more you prepare, the more comfortable and confident you'll be.
Now I think it's time to take a step back.
Okay.
And reflect on the bigger picture.
Yeah.
What does it all mean?
Yeah.
What key takeaways can our listener walk away with from this deep dive?
I think I have some thoughts on that.
I think you do.
Yeah.
Beyond the technical skills and the interview prep.
Right.
There's something else that's incredibly important.
Passion.
Ah, yes. The heart of it all.
Exactly.
Let's explore that in our final part.
Okay.
Are you ready to wrap this up?
Absolutely. Let's dive into those final insights.
Okay.
That'll help our listener truly shine in that interview.
Okay, so we've really dug deep into interview prep, breaking down those tough questions, highlighting the skills you need.
Right.
But like you mentioned, there's a deeper layer to all of this.
Yeah.
It's not just about checking the boxes.
Right.
It's about genuine passion.
Precisely. While, acing those technical questions is super important.
Yeah.
What really resonates with interviewers is your enthusiasm for the field.
Yeah.
Your passion for, accuracy, efficiency, and ultimately that impact that this role has on patient care.
It makes so much sense.
Yeah.
You can have all the right answers.
Right.
But if your heart's not in it,
yeah,
it's going to show.
It'll show.
So how can our listener tap into that passion and let it shine through in the interview?
So it starts with, reflecting on why you chose this path in the first place.
Okay.
What drew you to medical laboratory management?
Right.
Was it that fascination with the science, the desire to lead a team, or that, deep satisfaction of knowing that your work is directly contributing to better health outcomes?
Yeah.
Reconnect with that initial spark and let it fuel your responses.
Like remembering your why.
Exactly.
And I think that authenticity can make all the difference.
For sure.
Now, before we wrap up, I have one final thought for our listener to ponder.
All right.
We talked about staying current with advancements in the field.
Yes.
But what about the future of medical laboratory management?
Right.
What emerging trends could they bring up in the interview to show that they're forward-thinking?
That's a brilliant point, showing that you're not just knowledgeable about the present, but also have an eye on the future.
Right.
Can really impress interviewers.
Yeah.
For example, personalized medicine.
Okay.
It's revolutionizing healthcare, and it really relies on, advanced laboratory testing.
So our listener could talk about how they envision the lab evolving to meet those needs.
Exactly.
Or how they plan to stay ahead of the curve with new technologies and techniques.
Right. Or consider the increasing role of automation and AI in lab settings. How will these technologies impact the role of the medical laboratory manager?
Right.
Discussing these trends shows a deep understanding of the field and a commitment to lifelong learning.
It paints a picture of someone who's not just looking for a job,
right,
but someone who's passionate about shaping the future of the profession.
Exactly.
That's inspiring.
It is, and I believe that with the right preparation and that genuine passion, our listener has everything they need to ace that interview.
We're so excited for them. Remember, all the resources we talked about,
Yes.
including those incredible AI tools, are available on RoleCatcher.
Absolutely.
And if you need a refresher on any of the questions or insights, you know where to find us, right here on the Deep Dive.
Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring.
And keep diving deep.
Yes.